I bet there's something surprising that you didn't know that you could or could not be doing, or the way you could be acting, that I guarantee could help you win more points, have more fun playing volleyball, and not get as tired. We're going to talk about that in this video today. Have you ever been on a court at practice and someone has called you lazy? Ugh, it's like a stab to the heart. Well, in this video, we're gonna talk about how being a lazy motherfucker can make you into a better volleyball player.
You're a smart motherfucker, that's right.
Before we get into this, if you guys could, please go ahead and hit subscribe. Go ahead and hit that little bell so that you get notified when we come out with new content. And also, please keep leaving comments below so that we can go on and answer your questions and give us some more ideas for videos we can make in the future. Recently, when I've been coaching and when I've been training, I've been realizing that I'm a little too stiff when I'm playing. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm so focused on getting better that I think I'm actually putting more harm into my body than allowing myself to relax and move a little bit freer on the court. So one thing that we've been focusing on is trying to find a way to play lazy, but not look lazy. So it's a tough kind of combination that you have to find, where you have to figure out a way to make yourself feel very calm or lazy, but from the outside looking in, you're not necessarily gonna look like a sloth on the court just rolling around, not getting to anything. Okay, the effort still has to be there, but the mindset is what's gonna actually help us be lazy on the court and allow us to play a little bit better. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk you guys through one specific instance or something that you can do, one while you're passing, one while you're setting, and one while you're attacking, where you can be a lazy volleyball player and it's gonna make you a better player. So with our first skill, when we're talking about passing, when we want to feel lazy, we have to kind of get rid of this idea that we need to be really set when we're ready to pass. Whenever I'm working with beginners or intermediate players, one thing that I commonly see is people get into this starting position and then right before the server serves, they drop into this low position and putting a lot of strain on their legs. I've been here for 5 seconds and my legs are already starting to quiver. The reason that that's not a good thing is because what you're actually making your body do is get into a position that it doesn't want to be in. And once you're into that position, your body's telling your mind that you need to get out of that position before you move. Instead of putting ourselves into this strenuous position, I want you to feel relaxed. I want you to feel lazy. So instead of, I'm okay with you putting your hands on your knees and getting into this position, but when that server is getting ready to go, especially if they're float serving, I want you to think about standing up a little bit and allowing your body to get into a position where it's flowy, meaning that you're almost gonna try to get into rhythm with that server. And if we drop real low, our body's not gonna move at all. But if we can kind of stand up and have a little sway, that's gonna allow us to have the illusion that we're almost dancing with that server. And once that ball comes over the net, that's going to allow us to dance with that ball and make a good pass. So hopefully you saw the difference between the bad examples and the good examples. And by no means am I saying that this strict movement and putting yourself into that body position, it's not impossible to make a good pass. I only did 5 examples of bad passes and it took the breath out of me. So whenever you're doing those types of things, it's important to remember that we want to do these movements not only because it's going to help us make better passes, but it's also going to keep us energized. And if we're trying to use less energy, then it's going to allow us to play better longer. So remember, let's loosen up, let's stand up a little bit, allow our bodies to get to that ball and make a good pass. All right, the next skill we're going to talk about is setting. And when we're trying to be lazy and be a setter, a lot of it has to do with our footsteps. One thing that we commonly see is when a person gets served and they serve the ball to their partner, then we see the setter aggressively run to the net and they're almost waiting at the net for the passer to pass the ball to them. That's something that not only is going to hurt your passer, and hurt your set, but it's also another reason that you're losing unnecessary energy. So instead of having this very quick sprint to the net, I want you to think about being calm and relaxed and using small, quick steps to get your body into the right position instead of these big bounding steps. So you've seen a couple of examples. When we're talking about making these aggressive steps and getting rid of them, and then also starting to implement these short little tiny steps, I promise you it's something that is going to help you throughout a match, especially once you get fatigued. Once you get fatigued, those short, small steps are going to be something that you can actually accomplish. These big bounding steps, once the fatigue hits, that's where you're going to start quitting on your partner and not getting a touch on the ball. But if you use these small, quick steps, not only is it going to allow you to get into a position to make a good set, but it's going to allow you to play longer and make better sets throughout the duration of the match. All right, the next skill, attacking. The attacking movements are going to be pretty similar to our setting movements. Most of the time, I guarantee you've done this, but when you are starting to attack after you've made your pass and you've done your shuffle to find your hitting corridor and you start your approach, a lot of us have this very aggressive approach where they're just running at the net as fast as they possibly can. That is something that is not only going to make your window about this big, but it's also going to tire you out throughout the game, and it's going to make it harder for you to adjust to sets. So after we've made our pass and we add in our little shuffle and we're starting to go towards the net, I want you to make these first two steps feel lazy and relaxed. That will allow you to add in any adjustments you need to make to your set, and it'll keep your last two steps more explosive than your first two. And that's really important. All right, and that's it for attacking. If you are able to find this lazy or relaxed first two steps, I guarantee you your final two steps or your closing steps for your approach are going to feel more powerful. And that's really the goal of being an attacker, is to make sure those last two steps are aggressive. So hopefully you're able to find a way to relax and be lazy during the first half of your approach so that you can find that power in the second half. The idea of being lazy on the court is a concept that I think a lot of people forget about, but we always want to be comfortable when we're playing volleyball. And I noticed a couple years ago when I was playing, I was cramping a lot in tournaments. I would get so tired during matches that I had no idea what was going on. Once I was able to figure out how to be relaxed and calm during my matches, it not only allowed me to finish tournaments stronger, but it also allowed me to focus on the right things when I'm trying to perfect a skill. So I hope you guys take this little secret to the beach next time you play. And before we go, I want to ask you a quick question. Now that you've heard this information about being relaxed, and more than likely you're a little too stressed in your actual gameplay, in the comments below, I want you to tell me, where do you feel like you are being more strict or more stressed? Is it during the pass, during the set, or during the attack? I have a good idea what I think your answers are going to be, but I'm interested to hear from you. And before we go, I love that you guys stick around and watch these videos. I appreciate the comments that you're leaving, but if you have not subscribed to our channel, please do so. You have no idea how much that helps us come out with new content. So we'll see you next time.